Keep testing to see which one comes through.
Testing, testing.
That's not long. Which one do you have against? He's got this one. Yeah, so if that's what he's pulled up, there it is. It's the same. Can you go back to your YouTube and see if there's two on there?
Wait a minute, it's in YouTube.
I mean, go back.
Go to like the channel.
Just to the channel.
Go back to the channel.
Go ahead and I'll mess with that.
Hello, St. Anthony's fans and all others tuned in. My name is Eamon Bevan here in the booth at Cy Donnelly Field in Melville, New York. And tonight, we've got a good one. It's the St. Anthony's Friars, the league reigning champion, taking on the St. John the Baptist Cougars in some CHSAA Division I soccer action. As we can see from some last matchups, this one is set to be a battle of pure offense. St. Anthony's has won the last 5, but that has been by a whopping aggregate of 16-4. Whoever scores the most goals, it might seem weird at face value, but whoever scores the most goals will absolutely win this one. The last time St. John the Baptist won was all the way back 4 years ago, right on this field, on the 15th of October in 2019, when they won a 5-4 classic against Coach Don Correo's side. Will St. John the Baptist break some trends, or will St. Anthony's put their freight train of a program back on its tracks as they sit at a 6-5 record looking to reclaim their league title? We'll see in just a few minutes at kickoff.
full volume, but no, because
But you hear it right there, don't you?
barely. And it's,
And the Friars look to get going in the break here. Good tackle there. But it'll be a free kick called against Jaden Reyes. Despite the fact that he plays as a center back or center defensive midfielder most of the time. Oh, and he picks up a yellow there. It seems that after that foul on Muratori, tried to delay a quick start from the Friars and kick the ball away. And what may say frustration, but really it's just a smart move there by the Cougar defender. Now as he gets a talking to from the ref, it's the center back Marasevic stepping over the ball. Just behind the 45-yard line, he has about 5 or 6 of his teammates waiting in the box there to put their team ahead early. Right there, they just had to sub out Reyes. And they looks to be subbing in Daniel Peterson, their starting center half. Marasevic whips it in here. Lobbed in off the head of Juwanu. And it'll be shielded out for a Cougars goal kick. So I said it earlier about the Friars, but it could be said the same with the Cougars. As cold as this offense might be at sometimes this season, the St. Anthony's team is not one to be messed with, especially with the talent and depth they have coming off that bench. This goal kick here only goes as far as ahead of Christian Hall. It's fought there in the midfield. And almost at a break there for the Cougars as Lawrence has to step up out of his box and kick it out of bounds there for a Cougars throw-in as their offense looks more promising by the minute here tonight. Richard Waskowitz with the throw-in. Neat layback to him. Ooh, and what a nutmeg there through the legs of Christian Kelly. And Ferrara trying to body the ball out of the wing area, but finds the head there. And knocked out of bounds by Marasevic. And another corner kick, the second of the night here for St. John the Baptist, who frankly have looked the better offensive side so far in this affair. And a fight there down by the corner flag. And Marasevic once again intervening, getting the ball out for another St. John the Baptist throw-in. As the Friars look to switch here. It's intercepted there in the middle by Nicholas Kunitis. As they try to build out, only gets a bit more faulty as they turn it over on the opposite side of the pitch for a Friars throw in the hand of Nicholas Galindo. And again, the Friars look to march down the field here. St. Anthony's had that 8-0 win versus St. Mary's, but apart from that, in their competitive matches, they've been outscored 4-0. Not exactly the start you want to see if you're Don Correo, but hopefully they can get it going soon. And fullback Galindo here to step up. Long throw in. Clearance there, only finds the feet of Aniceto. Laid back to Ferrara, who lobs it in there. Bosolo fighting for it. And Juwanu taps it in. Friars lead 1-0. They get going once more on the offensive end. And in this ever-important matchup, the Friars find themselves with an early advantage. As he was replaced at the center back position by Marasevic, Joe Juwanu, the captain, for the first time in what may be his St. Anthony's career, finds himself at that 9. And off the head of Beausoleil, on a lob from his former center half teammate Nick Ferrara, taps it in past Gerard Molina and puts the Friars up 1-0 here early on. So about 9 minutes into this affair, St. John's looks to answer quick. The feet of Shane McCauley down that left side. He cuts in to the left, tried to chip it back in, finds the chest of McCauley. Again, good job possessing here in the final third by St. John the Baptist. By number 22, Adam Ignashewski just flies over the bar of Cole Lawrence. And what many may see from this Friars team so far this season that looks nothing alike to that league championship winning side is how they possess the ball. They do move the ball quite well, and they have that cushion that we might be able to see now. And Ramirez trying to drive across the field, gets it intercepted, and over the top is Michael Fialo, the league leading goal scorer, and leads St. John's in the categories of both assists and goals with 7 and 4 respectively. Galindo lobs it as far as Christian Hall. They try to find Moratori, falls kindly to his feet. As again, Moratori playing that false 9 position. Reaches the head of an overlapping Christian Hall. And good interception there by Juanio. Moratori tried to close him down there, but a good clearance there by the Cougars. After the foul, though, by Ramirez. It'll be a direct kick for the Cougars at about the 40-yard line here. And again, over the past 2 seasons, one thing this coaching staff stresses more than anything is to not give up on plays like these. Already up 1-0, you don't want to give away that cushion to possess to something like a corner kick, an unlucky bounce, or a direct like that. Luckily, they get it out there. Cauley dancing through the defense, looks for a shot. There might have been a deflection. The ref says no. Goal kick for St. Anthony's. And in these matchups, you don't see the Friars take an early advantage like this. They haven't been going so smoothly offensively, but this is a great break for that St. Anthony's sideline for the likes of Don Correo. That being said, in the past 2 matchups, it's both been wins for the Friars, but in that first matchup of the year, it was a 2-0 win at St. John's with Justin Ramirez, a returning member who got a goal there. Apart from that, Zachary Tanner had 3 goals in matchups against St. John's last year. 2 from the penalty spot, 1 off an interception on the St. John's goalkeeper. Most of those goals came either late in the first half or in some good runs in the second half. But it's very pleasant to see the Friars get started so early on here. As Henniger looks to switch, he gets exactly what he wants. As Galindo taunting the back of McCauley. He looks to switch it there to Alejandro Alarcon. And it gets back to Alarcon on the wing. Outside of the boot, is back there. There's a chip there. It's called a handball for the Friars. And let's see what they can get going from another direct kick here. Only 15 minutes into this affair. Marisevic known for his creativity out of that center mid or fullback position. Again, playing center back for the first time this season. Looks to whip it in here. Motori was just aching to get there. And Bosilo tries to turn. Cougar defender on his back. He looks to reset. And it only finds the feet of Michael Fialo, who tries to get the counterattack going. Alarcon tracked down by Kelly. And Marisevic with a very neat sliding tackle in there. Quality job to force a throw-in on St. John the Baptist.
Go from the live to the English report live, and you're going to see because lives.
Sure. And sorry about that there. We're resuming here with 29 minutes to go in this first half. St. Anthony's leads 1-0 as Galindo gets the ball stripped from him on that right side. Alacron moving all over that attacking third for St. John's, as after bodies go tumbling over on side Donnelly Field, it ends up in the feet of Christian Hall, who gets dragged down there. And where it's usually the case for the Friars, St. Anthony's has actually been able to do a better job drawing fouls than giving them away early on in this game. And Nick Farrar to take this one, which just leads into Aristeo Aniceto. And after being picked up as a sophomore last year in the varsity program, you have to feel Nick Farrar seems a bit lonely, losing a center back partner in Joe Giuani to that striker position. And Aniceto tries to find the feet of Beausoleil. Nifty footwork there to find more Torrey. Beautifully weighted ball there in for Galindo, who whips it in. And tipped over the bar there by Molina. That was a close one there for the Cougars. It'll be a corner kick on for Justin Ramirez to take. And Joe Giuano playing that pure 9 position. Already has a goal so far in this one, but he is all the more dangerous from that corner kick position. Ramirez to whip it in here. And Beausoleil backing down the man in front of the keeper. Plenty of bodies in there for St. Anthony's. Top header Torrey off the crossbar. Still in play. And somehow the Cougars keep it out. I think Torrey got a shot in there that Molina was able to intercept. And after it looks like a tug of a shirt there, St. Anthony's looks to go quick. But the referee says no way. A tangle of shirts there as St. John's tried to get the counterattack going. St. Anthony's didn't want that to be the case. But it'll be about 10 yards outside that 16-yard box. And Justin Ramirez, in one of his first starts of the season, will look to get a goal here. Maybe an assist, who knows. Confides in his teammate there. It's never a bad idea to try to find Giuano. And a little trick play here. And a bit of confusion there in the St. John's defense. Molina came rushing out to intercept. And you have to think, despite the immense amount of skill that Giuano has in those boots, there has to still be some adjustments for playing that striker role for the first time. As a corner kick here again for St. Anthony's. All but Marisevic and Galindo in the box here for St. Anthony's. Whipped in by Ramirez. Tried to find the head of Torrey, but Alacron gets it out. Henniger now trying to start the break and find some space in behind Galindo. Marisevic claims it, but only finds the feet of a Cougar defender. All before Christian Hall, in that right mid position, heaves it out for a Cougar throw-in. Here goes Henniger down the middle. Nice slide there. And after the follow-through from Marisevic, took down Alejandro Alacron there. There's nobody there to receive the pass from Daniel Peterson in the midfield. Lawrence looks to punt it. No black shirts in the area. And a center with Henniger in front of him, who typically plays that fullback position, trying to be that floor general through the middle this time. To Alacron. Ramirez, good step there. 1-2 with Moratori and Aniceto. A little lob there, might have had some poor contact, and falls back into some chance for the Friars to possess here. Aniceto sees a nifty Ramirez run in behind. The linesman plays it on. Only gets as far as the head of Richard Waskowitz. And one here in the midfield by Jaden Reyes. The Cougars look to break. Galindo there to close down. McCauley cuts back inside. Look to switch there. Only as far as... And although chances have been few and far between for this St. John the Baptist offense, it's good to see at least more than average communication from that Friars defense, and especially from Cole Lawrence. He started most of these games early on in the season, and it's great to see him and his mouth moving so early. Alarcon, pinned down by Kelly and Moratori, deflects off Kelly's foot. A nice interception there by Ramirez. Ball feint, and beautiful weight on that pass to Joannou down the left wing. He tries to cut back, and Daniel Peterson does not hear. And again, what a hustle play there. Peterson tracking down one of the premier players in this division and forces a throw in there off the St. Anthony's captain. No fly zone there for Marasevic, as Farrar will look to possess with his keeper, Cole Lawrence. Marasevic. 3 bodies in front of him. Tries to find the feet of Moratori just over his head. But in the end, it finds Christian Kelly, and now Moratori. Overlapping run there from Galindo. Intercepted by Peterson. He's all over the place there for St. John the Baptist. Now it's McCauley down the wing. He finds the feet of Adam Ignoweski. Henninger top of the box. Closed down by Aniceto. And 2 club teammates there clashing as the Friars look to break here. Joannou on the last man. Nifty turn there by Aniceto. And Joannou has space in front of him, and Beausoleil waiting in the box. He's got pace, and Joannou closes in here on one defender. Outside the boot cross here. Hit away by Peterson. And for those of you watching, you might have to agree that Daniel Peterson might be the only thing in between St. Anthony's and an even further lead here on tonight. Again, the overlapping run intercepted. Ignoweski to his left. A solid job there by Alejandro Serna to get the ball and keep it in their possession. That being said, not too much communication there, but it does end up in the feet of McCauley. Now St. John's will look to possess. That being said, where in some poor matchups you might see St. Anthony's on that lacking side when it comes to communication, it seems that St. Anthony's has completely overwhelmed Baptist in the press right now. Not too much communication from those people in the white jerseys. It's Marasevic driving from his center half spot. Ferrara now. Kelly screaming for the ball here on the near side. The Friars will just stay in that possession position. All the time in the world to pick out a pass. Tries to run that lob trust position. Kelly and Joannou able to bring it down. Good shield there, but it falls to Christian Kelly. And Molina, the only one to stop it. That's exactly what he does there. Sensational hustle by Joannou to keep the ball in bounds. Lefty cross there to Kelly. And another Friar corner kick as they look to extend their lead with 20 minutes to go in the half here, up 1-0. And as the Friars look to take a corner, it'll be Ramirez in the box this time as Zachary Lowe. A typical starter either in the center, mid, or left wing position. When he starts, he takes absolutely every kick available. Lowe whips it in. Finds that at Ferrara. And Joannou was waiting at the back post, and it only now falls to him. After it looks like, well, he tried to back down his defender there. Joannou with a bit of shirt tugging while he tried to whip in that cross. If you're regular to these streams, you might always notice those captains. Joannou tonight, Alalu of course out. Those armbands always flailing off their arm at every minute's notice. Alarcon, nifty turn there, but only as far as the boundaries there. As Christian Kelly will look to throw in and resume play for the Friars. Alarcon finds his man Igniszewski there. Igniszewski tries to cut back in. A back heel flick, unsuccessful, and Kelly swept off his feet in the worst way possible there by his defender. And 19 minutes to go in this first half. St. Anthony's with a 1-goal advantage. They have done an absolute phenomenal job, despite only being up the single goal, at making this Cougars offense and this Cougars defense impatient with itself. They need to get something going here, and that is just not coming so far. And Aniceto started nearly every game as that defensive midfielder, dropping all the way back to get the offense going. Marasevic finds the lull, a man on his back, and he's stripped of it there. Ramirez with space to look into, cuts back. That's Aniceto. All the time in the world, this Cougars defense just giving cushion, waiting for the Friars to make a mistake. But they're not exactly chomping at the bit to keep that going. Ferrara here. Finds the feet of Galindo. Aniceto now. Aniceto directing traffic. Not the best communication there, despite all the hand signals given, as St. John's looks to counterattack now. Before Friars converging in. As off the head of Lull there. The lob now gets to Ramirez. And clear as day, a push in the back there by Alcaron will give the St. Anthony's Friars another very dangerous position here on this free kick. Marasevic can make plays from anywhere on that field, and when you give him any option on that 25-yard line, it's not the best situation to be in. Quickly taken here by Marasevic. Verging on the keeper's Joannou. No whistle there so far. It looks like he took out the keeper. The clearance off the line there. In 2-0. On his striker debut, the captain gets his brace. All sorts of calls here yet to be made by the referee, but as it stands, the Friars double their advantage with 17 to go. And a bit of confusion here from everybody in the field and on the stands. From this angle, it looked like Joannou just took out Gerard Molina in his own 6-yard box as he went up for it. That being said, the referee must have seen the ball still as a 50-50. With plenty of Cougars still frustrated about it, Henniger, the 4-year player, gets put on the bench with a yellow card. And with even more cushion here, and one of the best starts they've had against St. John the Baptist in years, it'll be the senior striker, Vinny Dentrone, taking that left wing spot as they look to even further this advantage with 17 to go. Ignashewski gets us kicked off as a very, very unfavorable position for this St. John the Baptist team. St. Anthony's full of momentum now, not something they've often seen. Back to Molina there. In a 50-50 ball, you don't typically see Zachary Lowe in those, but it ends up back in the feet of Christian Kelly, who's having such a night for himself tonight. He's just full of energy, but it remains with the Cougars. Ignashewski with Ramirez on his back. Oh! The tangle of bodies there. Finds Ignashewski's ankles getting stepped on. And a direct kick for St. John's. And you can say it about plenty of players here for the Friars, and some for the Cougars, of course. But the likes of Ramirez, Christian Kelly, Christian Hall have been absolutely everywhere for this St. Anthony's team. Ramirez accustomed to that left wing role, but as it looks like St. Anthony's with more of a 2-front here, sinking Ramirez into that wing-back position. As the indirect just goes over the legs of Ferrara there, back to Aniceto trying to get the break going for the Friars. And that he does. A dangerous play there by Joannou. I mean, he's reasonably invigorated by those 2 goals he had, but you can't be thrown around flying knees. To reset the play here is Carlos Rodriguez. And the captain, Jaden Reyes, tries to find a space in between Christian Kelly, but he has let up absolutely nothing tonight. Some nifty flicks there by Alejandro Serna. And after some tangles there, it'll be another direct kick for St. John the Baptist. And these are the chances you need if you're St. John's if you want to get back into this game. Not many chances have come from open play. You've let up 9 goals and scored 0 in your last couple. These are the types of opportunities when in some positions you do have the height advantage that you absolutely need to capitalize. And a lob in here. Alcaron chasing it down on the sideline. But in the end, it'll just be another goal kick for the sophomore keeper Cole Lawrence. Friars getting started right away with Ferrara. As much as they want that third goal, which would almost surely put it away as far as first half performances go, they'll be as patient as they need to. That being said, dangerous ball there by Ferrara as Joanna looks to track it down. Molina gets it clear, only as far as the feet of Aniceto. Christian Hall putting in a solid performance, gets it back there to Galindo. Aniceto, so far this game, on every time he's had the ball, he's enabled himself to get as much space as possible to dictate this Friars offense from wherever position he need be on the field. Hall gets closed down by Macaulay. My apologies, that was Serna. And Serna with the nudge in his back. Not exactly the most coordinated through ball there, as they really just need to get it out of their end. For those just tuning in now, 13 minutes left to go in the half. A 2-0 advantage, both goals by Joe Juanu, who in the absence of his fellow captain John Awalalu, has scored 2 goals from the striker position early on. Low here with the turn. Tries to find space in behind for Juanu. And a faulty clearance there. Eventually gets out, but Marisevic intercepts. Ramirez trying to bring it down now. Tangled there with his fellow number 11, Michael Fialo, who the Friars have done a great job of containing here tonight. Nifty 1-2 there, taken away by the Cougars. And again, what a good job tracking back there by Galindo. Another beautiful set of combinations here. Zachary Lull could only get a field goal there on that shot. But some sensational ball movement from the Friars. You haven't seen much of that all season, but they have done a great job moving on and off the ball. All they need is that perfect bit of contact from the feet of Zachary Lull, and they're up 3-0 tonight.
You're great.
Out comes Alejandro Serna. He's put in a solid shift from that left mid position. As Kelly tries to control it with his chest. And a good hustle play by Ramirez is cut short as the ball rolls out of bounds for a Cougars throw-in. Peterson now playing from the defensive midfield position. Tried to get the ball back there, but the clearance only got as far as Marisevic, and he throws it back to Ferrara. Galindo now. Man closing him down, back to Lawrence. Solid distribution there behind that attacking line. And a bit of a rushed pass there, outside of the boot. Not exactly the first thing you want to see if you're Coach Correa. But nonetheless, the Friars have it in possession once again. And St. John's need all the energy that they can conserve right now. They're just giving a cushion for the Friars to play into, hoping that when the moment comes, they can pounce on it and hopefully, just maybe, get a goal before the half. Barring 10 minutes to go now. All the time in the world for that back four. Where it typically is a back four, it seems that at many times in possession, it finds a back three here as Kelly gets cut off. But a nifty set of deflections finds the low lob into Juanu. Juanu gets it on his head to Dentrone. An argument for a potential handball there. The only hand that the referee ends up seeing is that of Molina. And quick break here for the Cougars. It's Fialo down the left wing. Easily taken away by Aniceto. And on deflection, the Friars will keep it. Now, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but this has been one of the better starts for St. Anthony's against any St. John's side in recent years. Of course, it's already been 4 seasons since they've had a loss to the Cougars, but they have not been easy to defeat. As Lowell tries to win it back after he loses it himself in the midfield. Henniger, who's back in the game, weaving his way down that left-hand side. As a errand pass to Peterson, finds Ramirez, and he's got a man in behind. And the freshman keeper gets whacked down there by the pair of Dentrone and Juano. 2 hungry senior attackers there, just getting a little bit too antsy when swinging at the ball. And just under 10 minutes to go here in this affair. As you're thinking, what can St. John's even do at this point to get something going before the half ends? Dentrone, the speedster, tracking him down. And a cut by Ramirez. It was originally intercepted by Peterson, but Alecron seemed to shove him down there with 2 hands. Now Marasevic. It's hard to count how many times he's had to step over a direct kick so far, but he looks to whip it in one more time. It's a lob there with some complicated headers. Finds Henniger, who hurdles over the leg of Zachary Lowe. With no one left to support, Aniceto takes him down as Lowe's still back around the 45-yard line. And as soon as the Friars win it back, the referee calls the game into a pause as Lowe down, holding what seems to be the side of his thigh on that far side of the pitch. Now, after Zachary Ulal was sent down clutching his leg, the medical staff was able to get him off the field successfully, as it looks like the medical cart will come out to treat him now. And it really is a shame to see, you know. in one of the few games of this magnitude that he hasn't been able to start. He gets subbed on about 20 minutes in following that first goal, and only about 15 minutes later, his night may be seen cut short. That being said, in what he has played, he's been such a welcome addition to this Friars roster. As the Cougars resume play, Galindo intercepts as the newly added Wichik, who's typically a fullback, finds himself at the right mid position, subbed in for his fellow junior Christian Hall. And Wichik and Moratori trying to press there, force the Cougars back. But it's a nifty switch there to Alcaron. And he tries to find Andrew Ignashewitz in behind, but all he finds is Christian Kelly, who's having quite the night for himself with 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Nifty combination there. Ramirez cuts back on the ball. Finds Moratori, tries to turn, but Peterson in that defensive midfield role does a good job to take it away. Back to Peterson. A little bit behind Ignashewitz, and right into the position for the Friars to get back on the break. Kelly on the wing. Dentrone, solid job turning there, and he finds the feet of Joanu. And like that, it's swept up by the freshman goalkeeper for the Cougars. And Dentrone really able to take advantage of defenders with his ability and pace on the ball. Solid job finding the feet of Joanu, but a good job cleaning up by the keeper there. As they try to get back, clearance by Ferrara will give the Cougars another throw-in. Peterson driving past Aniceto. Finds the feet of Ignashewitz. Turns there, almost dragged down, and a save there by Lawrence. The safe hands of the sophomore guides it over the crossbar, as the best chance of the night is foiled again by Cole Lawrence. Some solid combination. Not too many Cougars were up there in general, but the two that were, solid chance generated by Ignashewitz and Peterson. And it'll be Alcaron looking to whip it in here. It finds the feet of Peterson. Not for long, though. It's out to Dentrone. He tries to find Ramirez, who takes down his man there. And that's a call any day of the week, as Alcaron puts it down for Henniger. And another dangerous opportunity for the Cougars to get one back before the break. Plenty of movement in the box there. Lawrence comes to have it, and he punches it out. Solid job there by the sophomore. And Dentrone trying to find the breaking feet of Moratori. Again falls to him after it's intercepted. And Dean Moratori, relentless on that, finds Joanu in behind. One man to beat, tries to cut inside. And he shields it out for a corner kick. Fifth of the night for the Friars. And with Lull out, it'll be Ramirez back near that corner flag. And with 4 minutes left, a 3-goal lead, a 3-goal cushion going into this half is exactly what the Friars need to build up that momentum and just maybe get that start to the second half that they needed. They put Kelly on the keeper. Fired into the far post, punched out as far as yours, and Seto! And it was a good-looking contact. It was a good-looking angle, but just about 5 yards wide left of Molina's post. The Cougars can hold their breath. For now, of course. And on comes number 10, Joseph Surozensky. He has 2 goals for his own during this league campaign for St. John's. And the chip by Ferrara. And it'll be a throw in here for Andrew Wichik. He hands it off to Galindo. There's 3:45 left. The Friars up 2. Can they get something before the first half break? We will see. Mortori trying to turn on him. Solid press there, but a bit too much contact, the referee says. As the clock winds down with 3 minutes to go, St. John's can just try to see if they can get anything going. Lobbed into that Friars defensive third, and Galindo meets it in the air. Peterson elevating himself. He's got a man in behind. And a swarm of Friars had to converge on the league-leading goal scorer Michael Fialo there to make sure he does not get an 8th goal on that tally. Mirasevic looking to get it going. Ramirez, Mirasevic. The center back drives forward. Ramirez now. Looks for a switch in behind the defense, can't get it. It'll find its way back to Henniger. No chance he's finding those runs in behind. Good close-up by Christian Kelly on the off ball. And now it's Serna who's back in the game. Marasevic couldn't reach it, but no problem there as it's cleaned up by Ferrara. And now Witchick with space in front of him. As the Friars look to get going on that right side. As the clock leans to 2 minutes left to go. Witchick. Perfect ball to find the head of Muratori. And the ref will play advantage there as Dentrone brings it down. Tries to weight it in behind there for Joannou. And it goes back to the Cougars. The Friars win it right back. And again trying to feed the feet of their former center back. It does not go as planned, and the Cougars look to break. Peterson now. Henniger on that far side. Not many options going forward so far, and 1:31 left in this half. Ooh, good touch there. And he tries to send Sierżanski in behind. The Friars earn it right back shortly before being cut out. Peterson driving forward. Now Waskowitz, Serna, and good step there by Kelly. Joannou pressing in from behind. And the Cougars will look to possess and switch here. Just under a minute now. Can they get something in the 50 seconds or so left? Andrew Witchick says no, they can't. As he switches to Ramirez, can the Friars themselves get something here? He's got Dentrone to his right, Girardi to his left. Ramirez finds his captain. Cuts back inside. Back to Ramirez. And just a centimeter too far there as it's intercepted. And the Cougars look to break here. Peterson only finds the feet of Marasevic. And can they get something with the 20 seconds or so left? Dentrone on the wing with that question in mind. To Mortori. And a faulty touch there leads to a clearance that leads to Ramirez, who's whacked down there. The ref looks to play on as the half seems to come to a close. The clock is at zeros. And after about a 15-second period there, they're playing some imaginary time. The referee blows, and that ends the first 45. It's a brace for Joannou, who in the absence of his fellow captain, John Awalalu, was able to step into that offensive role and give the Friars a 2-goal cushion as they look to move up into that race back for the CHSAA 1 seed. Can St. John's answer in the second half? We'll see. Give it 10 minutes time. And welcome.
4 or 5 minute delay. So I'm talking to my son as he's watching it.
And welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field here in Melville. For those of you tuning in after the halftime break, in this CHSAA Division I soccer matchup, the St. Anthony's Friars, the home team, hold a 2-0 lead over the Cougars of St. John the Baptist. And it has been all St. Anthony's so far. And welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field here in Melville. For those of you tuning in after the halftime break, with the Friars down. Division I soccer matchup. The St. Anthony's Friars, the home team, hold a 2-0 lead. Cougars of St. John Baptist. It has been all St. Anthony's so far. The Friars down. Sorry about that. In the absence of the three John Awalu and Chris Godoy pregame, as well as Zachary Lull during the game about 20 minutes in to his stint off the bench, the Friars have still managed, through the work of some sensational play by their substitutes, kept a 2-goal cushion over this feisty St. John the Baptist team. And now as Adam Ignashewski looks to kick off here, we'll see in the next 45 minutes who wins this vital game in the grand scheme of things once it comes to that November playoff time. And here we go, folks. In the few games they've lost, especially the ones at home, the Friars have always showed up on the back foot early in the second half. And with St. John's desperate to answer, we'll see how let's see if they can keep that trend up in the next 5 minutes or so. Switch here to Chafalo. Into Peterson. Tries to find a man in behind, but the Friars get a clearance. And the Friars, desperate in their own sense to finally put this game away. 2 of the last 3 games they've had against St. John's have been 3-goal wins, both scores ending in 4-1, one being the semifinal from 2 years ago over at Mitchell Field. The other one last year's senior night performance, where Zach Tanner got himself a brace. Ball phone to Dean Muratori. Christian Hall, the junior, gets closed down by Chafalo. Can St. John's get a break here? He finds the feet of Gavin Henniger. As Peterson gets pulled down in the middle there, Christian Hall cuts in to Beausoleil. Muratori, can he switch it? Yes, he can. It's the feet of Ramirez on that favored left wing. Scissor here. Scissor there. He finds his way down to the baseline. Crosses into the head of Hall. Nothing there off the head of the junior. That being said, solid as a start as ever that these Friars could ask for. And if it hasn't been stated enough, it's still quite an anomaly to have 2 teams with the qualities of these that we're watching tonight and have a sophomore in goal for one, which is St. Anthony's with Cole Lawrence, and a freshman for the other in Gerald Molina. And Hall marching his way down the sideline, 3 Cougars around him down that right side, able to force a throw-in for St. Anthony's. Lindo to Aniceto. Back to Aniceto. Kelly now looking more as an inverted fullback there. And Muratori lets one rip. And what a strike that was! Do all the flips you want when you can shoot it like that. Dean Muratori, in one of his first starts of the year, nails one into the upper 90 as the Friars start their half as well as they possibly can. It's 3-0 here for St. Anthony's. St. John's 0. And a glowing smile on the face of Moratori. As good as he is at golfing, he can still do that on the soccer field. And 3 minutes into the second half, an even worse situation for the Cougars now. Solid job there by Ferrara. But a simultaneous press from Moratori ends up in a direct kick for the Cougars. And Shuski, Henniger now. Jafalo cutting back in from that left back position. Henniger now. A nice string of passes here for St. John's. And it stays in their possession. Ignashewski. Back heel there, intercepted by the Friars defense. Can they get started? It's Ramirez with the question. He finds the feet of Christian Hall, but just a tad bit behind him. And now St. John's look to break. Kelly caught slipping there, but nonetheless the Friars win it back through the effort of those two juniors over on the left side. Ramirez, who just over a year ago scored his first varsity goal. Oh, and Joannou in behind. Can the center back get a hat trick? It's an own goal, and it's 4-0 for St. Anthony's. Seems to have been off the feet of Carlos Rodriguez there. But in the end, it's nothing different as the Friars get the goal they needed to potentially put this game to bed. Not 5 minutes in to this second half of play. The Friars, again, the start of these second halves have not exactly been their forte. But when you can possess the ball like that and control the game like they have, finding that versatile player in Joannou in behind, that's what you have to expect. And many would say this game is out of reach for St. John's. And again there, Beausoleil wins it back. And everything's moving faster here for them. As a Moratori again. It would be a dream, wouldn't it? That being said, it ends up in the hands of the freshman Molina, who flicks it out as the Cougars look to break. And many might say this game's out of reach for St. John's. But given the chance to get a goal back, who knows? On senior night, 4-0 was the score at a point in the second half. They got one back. They got a penalty that would have given them a lot of momentum with 5 minutes left. The efforts of current football punter Danny Van Arsdale, who used to be the keeper for this varsity team, kept that game in hand. And here's Henniger through the middle. Tries to swing it in. He tried to find the feet of Michael Fialo there. His licensed goal scorer hasn't been able to get much with the likes of Ferrara and Galindo on him at every possible chance. A favorable deflection there for the Friars, as it'll only be a throw-in here on that far side. Header out there by Hall. Top of the box and one back. Ferrara tries to get it out. And it's a 2v2 here for St. Anthony's. A nifty turn there by Beausoleil. Nelson Beausoleil taken down. There's a wide tangle, but the Cougars needed anything to get done there to make sure it doesn't get to 5, at least now. It chipped in there ball to Joannou. In the hands of nobody there, as again, what seems to be a lack of communication in that Cougars defense has the ball slipping in between the head of Joannou and the hands of Molina. Not something you want to see if you're one of the coaches on that St. John the Baptist sideline. And it was convenient with a 2-goal cushion. But with 4, Friars, if they don't seek to attack, they can possess all they want. Despite what the record may show you in comparison to recent years, this team is as deep and as technical as it's been. Peterson outside of the boot switch, intercepted by Kelly. And the left back will look to push now. He's got 3 of his teammates around him. And he finds Moratori sinking in there to help out his teammate. Kelly on that right wing now. Far from his home. As a pass meant for him. Gets St. John's on the break now. Fialo trying to cut in. Upended by Galindo. And Henniger tries to find his compatriot over on that far side. It was taken away by Marasevic. But Peterson kept that to a minimum. Fialo now, with acres of space on this left side. Tries to swing one in. To the head of Cerna. But it's the head of Christian Kelly instead. And a rip here from Peterson in the midfield. He's a do-it-all guy. But as far as that shot went, it only found the hands of Lawrence. Lawrence heads it away. And a backheel flick there. Not something you often see their first time off that high of a punt. But Jafalo tries to get done. A neat string of passes here. As St. Anthony's are giving more of a cushion with what seems to be a 5-back now. And it breaks for Kelly down that left-hand side. There's space for Beausoleil. Does he have the pace? Yes, he does. He's in behind. And the lines were fluffed there. It sails unfavorably for the junior. As typically, you'll see him play in 10, maybe 20-minute stints throughout the beginning of the first half and to the second half when the Friars really need that energy. But so far, this might be the most he's played all season, and he's produced in the way you'd want him to. Cougars looking to move here now. Henniger, Fialo. Back to Henniger. Solid step there by Hall. It was the finger wag to Adam Ignashewski. Ignashewski now has to find somebody. Found nobody on that one. 35 minutes left on the clock. 10 minutes into the second half. A dream start here. That's quite the dangerous position from that throw-in. Typically don't reset, but the Friars were at least able to get it out that time with Lawrence finding the feet of Henniger on St. John the Baptist. Great work with his body there by Aniceto. Peterson intercepts the lob. Solid turn there, but only as far as that St. John's fullback. Peterson driving in. Fialo. Henniger. Tries to chip it in from that left side on his right foot. And Christian Hall, invigorated with all sorts of senses of purpose now. St. John's just need to get something going now. Beausoleil pressing from behind. Does exactly what he needs to from that position. Forces the Cougars back. Moratori on the back of Peterson. Turns it over there. Weighted ball into the corner for Juanu. For those of you tuning in, yes, that is Joe Juanu, the center back captain of the Friars on that left-sided striker. He has 2 goals so far, and he's had quite the contribution as a target man for St. Anthony's. Ramirez and Aniceto dancing through that defense. And after that beautiful string of passes, tad bit of miscommunication there shuts it down. As it seemed Ramirez wanted to link it through and have Moratori drop it to him. It just didn't happen. St. John's cushioning, just making sure it doesn't get any worse than this if they have any chance of completing what seems at this point to be almost an improbable comeback. Marasevic and Aniceto, those two thick as thieves both on and off the field. Moratori, all the confidence to shoot. He let one rip there. Sailed about 5 yards over the bar. And it'll be another St. John the Baptist goal kick. Dean Moratori. It started at that Chaminade game. Of course, him and the likes of Nelson Beausoleil, Christian Hall, they would get those stints. Vinny D'Antrone too, they would get those stints. Just bring that energy, be solid pressing factors for this Anthony's team. And you don't typically see, he's a very athletic guy, Moratori. Oftentimes you'll see him scoring goals off corner kicks, direct kicks, sometimes tap-ins off of those, but you don't often see him shoot from the range that he scored from tonight. And since then, we've seen him about 2 or 3 of those since. The Friars, all sorts of space mentally and literally to do whatever they want. Away by Chafalo there. Henniger brings it down. Can he get the Cougars on a break? The Soul Captain cannot. And Aceto seems to have come off. Yeah, it comes off his hand. And St. John's look to get going quick. A swarm of bodies there. It ends up at the feet of Ramirez, and he gets Moratori looking to break. Acres of space here on the right-hand side. Chafalo just does just enough to intercept. Back to Moratori, however. Joanu, Beausoleil in behind, tries to round his defender. And it's intercepted by Shane McCauley. Solid work on the defensive end there. Moratori off the throw. To Ramirez. Fakes one. Feint. Ramirez! Solid save there. It's on the feet of Beausoleil. Joanu! A low-driven shot there. Almost gave the Friars 5. It was not true, though. As much as you want to see your center back at a hat trick, they'll have to wait for now. Almost came off the hand there, Wignashewski. So he gets Henniger going down the left side. And one of the slowest slide tackles you might see today, Christian Hall manages to strip Henniger. Moratori. Ramirez cutting in. Finds the feet of Joanu. Can he get a hat trick? He turns on his man. It's at the feet of Hall. Can he cut it back? No, he cannot. With the way St. Anthony's is pressing and getting men forward in that attacking third, there's just unlimited options, it seems, for the likes of Joanu when he holds it up. And from this angle, some of you might see it on the broadcast, this typical 4-3-3 that the Friars play has been given a lot of complexity so far tonight. You've seen a lot of inverted runs, the likes of Ramirez as he is here sinking in, and that overlapping run by Galindo on the far side. He's disappointed, but Ramirez can only find a run to Joanu. As after the punt there, it's taken back into the Friars' custody. Hall tries to flick it. Chafalo says no thank you. Peterson. Chafalo down that middle. And Ignashewski stripped there by Ferrara. Moratori looks to switch. And is that too much weight on there? Yes, it is. Ramirez will just settle for the throw in to defend. Calls for a handball over on that far side following the throw-in. High arcing ball, hard to bring down by Aniceto, and then it's Ignashewski who brings it down. Tries to find Serna in behind. Marisevic gets back to Lawrence. He just has to get it out there, and St. Anthony's ends up back with it. Now Ferrara, we see him do this plenty of times in possession. Sometimes you'll see him drive as far as the 16-yard box, maybe not with the ball, but sometimes without it. But only there, he just had to be settled with the throw-in. And now, an interesting figure at many times during the season, Jamison Dratty replaces that goal scorer. Don Correo on the sideline with all sorts of smiles on his face. He had to do it as much as his captain wanted that hat trick. On the topic of Jamison Dratty, on the physical end, he's a monster often. He's very solid in press, as St. Anthony's wins it back here. Lobbed away. Dratty spent 3 years in this program, the first 2 as a goalkeeper for the JVB and JVA levels. Through that entire time, came back to tryouts this summer saying, I want to be a striker. And what do you know? He put in that work, made that roster spot. He's got plenty of time to show off what he can do in the outfield. Here's Chafalo cutting in. Tries to switch it to Serna. And Christian Kelly finally does it wrong there. Nifty turn there by Serna. And the cross taken away by Christian Hall, who sunk in from that wing. And it's almost hard to describe how this Friars team has been set up with the way they've been defending. Christian Hall has been all over the place. Justin Ramirez all over the place, in a good way. It's a complex and hard-to-read defensive scheme. And when you don't know where these players are going, you basically cannot defend them. I mean, this is the left winger on the ball, Ramirez taking it out from his own 45-yard line, and a beautiful pass there to Draddy. Moratori with all sorts of space to whip it in. Gets the cross off all the way back to him. Chip to the far post. And Kelly! What can't he do? Arguably his best night as a Friar, capped off with one of his first goals in a game of this magnitude. He's had so much to do in so many games. When he gets that goal, since he's got that goal tonight, it's a breath of fresh air for the junior. And sometimes in these St. Anthony's offenses, those fullbacks can be secret weapons. We saw it in last year's semifinal against Kellenberg. The likes of Matt Larenko. He went from right back to striker on so many situations, he ended up getting a brace to send them to that league final that they ended up winning. Now you have the likes of Nicky Galindo, Christian Kelly, each found themselves in incredible goal-scoring opportunities. And Ramirez! Come on, man, let me finish my sentence. Friars are just letting it fly out there, and why not? It almost seems like they've tired down this Cougars defense, and they're just getting space to do whatever they want. And Kelly, invigorated, intercepts there. Ramirez cuts back in. Arguably his best game so far this season for him. And what a ball there! Andrade! Count it as 6. Number 15 has earned a goal like that in a game like this. He's done all sorts of things so far this season, played all over the field, and it's not his first goal, but it certainly means a lot to him. It's on the sideline. The scoreboard, 26 minutes left in this one. A 6-goal advantage, one of the biggest wins. If this scoreline were to stand, it would be one of the biggest wins in recent memory in this particular matchup. And on comes some substitutions for the Friars. It'll be 3 seniors. Stephen Galindo, Kyle D'Amico, and Paul Vito. And Vito's career as a Friar has seemingly paralleled the likes of Jamison Draddy, your most recent goal scorer. He was an outstanding prospect on the JV and JVB levels, starting nearly every game as a striker or winger. Didn't get on the team last year, or didn't try out for the team last year, and decided to lace up the boots one more time. With the magnificent hustle he showed in those off-season practices and those tryouts, he made his way back onto a roster spot where he is a sensational plug-and-play fullback, ready to put all sorts of pressure on whatever defense he's faced with. And Serna, stripped there by Galindo. As quick as ever, Stephen Galindo. Chafalo. Not many runs of support here for St. John's, so they have to settle with what they get. Henniger started as a fullback, played plenty of times as a striker, a center midfielder. Oftentimes you see him going down that left wing, and again, he's in that center back role now, just trying to get anything going. for this varsity team, which he's heralded as his own for the last 4 years. Moratori tries to find Holland behind. Molina found it tough to hang on to there, but eventually he does. So much going on for Molina tonight. Almost seems unfair to put a freshman in a game like this, with the Friars playing the way they are. That being said, it's unfortunate that this is not an unfamiliar scoreline for St. John's. In their last game, away at Chaminade, they were faced with this exact same scoreline against the Flyers at Ott Field. And after, I believe it was the fourth goal, the St. John's sideline said, hey, might as well try it. And you see Gerald Molina putting on his game jersey and going in at that striker position for the last 20 minutes or so up against the 1 seed in the division. You don't see it too often. This is quite the competitive league, but it's always intriguing to see a goalkeeper wearing his sweatpants playing that 9. "23 minutes left to go. For those tuning in, the score is 6-0. St. Anthony's lead with a 6-goal advantage as Christian Kelly, the 5th goal scorer, looks to chip one in. And speechless at that one. Everybody who saw that ball go into the air was wondering where it was headed. Same with the goalkeeper. And in the end, it finds that upper triangle of the goal frame. You have to ask, was that a cross? But I'm sure he'll take the goal on his score sheet there. What a finish there to get Christian Kelly his 2nd of the night, and St. Anthony's their 7th. And onto the field comes Michael Ryder and Jackson Donahue at the right wing and center back position respectively. And you know it's relief for the player himself and those onlookers in the stands to see Christian Kelly have a game like this one. He's been pinned against some tough opposition, some of the best wingers in the country in games like Chaminade and Bergen Catholic. He's played some big physical opponents, and to see him get some freedom down that wing, it's really a blessing to see him blossom in a game like this. And a direct here from just inside the 30-yard line for St. Anthony's. Stephen Galindo standing over it. Whips it in, tries to find the head of Christian Hall. And it didn't find anything there. Ends up going past for another St. John the Baptist goal kick. And for the Friars, Daniel Peterson, a guy who's done it all, especially in that first half. He was all over the place, trying his best to keep that lead as narrow as it was. That being said, he's replaced by the likes of Liam McCarthy on that left-hand side. Good one there by Galindo. And Michael Ryder, the lefty in that left center back role. Interesting story for him. Actually started last season as the team manager with some phenomenal work in team practices. All the coaches and players could tell he really needed and wanted that spot. And eventually he did. Got his debut in a 4-0 win against Monsignor Farrell last year. And from there, he's never looked back. Galindo. Good switch there by Ferrara. Finds the chest of Christian Kelly. He already had one man on his brace. Could not get a hat trick in Joe Giuliano. Kelly remains in the game with 21 minutes left. If the score does get to 8 for St. Anthony's, could we see Kelly grab that 3rd? The lobbing here for Vito. Ignashewski jumps right over the shoulders of Paul Vito there. And it'll be a St. John the Baptist throw-in. McCauley here Jafala. And Galindo trying to get his senior companion Moratori started in the break there. Who knows, maybe he can pick up another thunderbolt that he launched to get that 4th goal. Moratori trying to find Jackson Donahue in behind, but just a bit too close to that 6-yard box of Gerald Molina. Now the freshman cleans it up. And Kelly, he has pace and he can exploit down that left-hand side. He's got Waskowitz on him. Still holding on to it. Brought down, but even if it was a foul, it remains for an advantage of the Friars. Look to switch here. Galindo tries a nifty pass to the outside of the boot, and he gets it back up further up the field. And Ryder in his own defensive half. Both of these center backs with acres of space. As St. John the Baptist just give that cushion there. Off the shoulder of Draddy. Donahue fighting for it. Christian Hall tries to finesse. And Ospina there. What a save. Tried his own little Christian Kelly finesse shot. Might find its way out of the keeper's periphery. No, there. Shoved in the back there by center back Michael Ryder. It was a direct kick for St. John the Baptist around the 25-yard line. And back on that second Christian Kelly goal, it was hard to explain. You couldn't tell if he was going for a chip or something, but kind of froze everybody in that defensive unit as it sailed into that top corner. Ignashewski looked to fire one here under the wall. And into the safe hands of Cole Lawrence it goes. Just under 20 minutes here on the clock. For those of you tuning in, St. Anthony 7, St. John the Baptist nothing. 2 goals from the converted striker, Captain Joe Giuano. 2 goals from Christian Kelly. The likes of Dean Moratori scoring a few others. As the press works here for Fialo in that left-hand corner. They try to whip one in. Only as far as about the tallest player on that St. Anthony's roster, Michael Ryder. And a turnover there for Baptist. Sees Dean Moratori trying to get his teammates going. Henniger on the left-hand side here. Good interception there by Vito. Galindo now marching upfield. It's about a 4v4 here. Neatly weighted ball in there. Carlos Rodriguez just let it slide through his legs into the hands of his keeper Ospina. And too slow of a ball there to Ignashewski. They get to retry it again. In the end, Michael Ryder on his unfavorable right foot gets it clear. Christian Hall forces a throw-in. It seems to be a plethora of substitutions here. Patrick Pina, Justin Sotero, Braden Conley, Kevin Martin, and Benito Calderon for the Friars. And there on the sideline, you'll love to see it. I mean, of course, if you're Christian Kelly, you wanted to get that 3rd goal. You can always settle for 2. Of course, Jamison Draddy with that glowing smile on his face, having picked up another goal here on his senior campaign. For St. John the Baptist, Joseph Surozensky, their number 10, finds his way back into the game on that right wing. Galindo getting pulled from behind, holds on to it. After the ball was intercepted there by Chafalo, The referee's advantage holds true, and another direct kick here for St. Anthony's. Galindo will see over it again. So, as there's 15 minutes left in this one, it looks like the Friars will be setting up with a defensive unit. So Galindo whips it in, hands of Ospina. Defensive unit of Patrick Keena, Michael Ryder, Justin Sotero, who's a very versatile junior himself, and Paul Vito on that right wing back position. Kevin Martin playing the 7, Stephen Galindo and Kevin Martin, Stephen Galindo and Braden Conley looking to both be 10s. And on that left-hand side, you have Kyle D'Amico. In front of him, Benito Calderon, typically a fullback. And in that striker pairing, you have Jackson Donahue, number 1, a number typically reserved for keepers, but hey, it looks good on the jersey. A bit too much shoving there from Donahue. St. John's will take it the other way. And of course some upcoming action here for the Friars as they look to retain their throne on top of the CHSAA. 2 upcoming home matches against the likes of Holy Trinity next Tuesday. And that Thursday, looking to get revenge on Kellenberg Memorial and the Firebirds. After a couple of weeks ago, they sustained their first loss to them in quite some time. A 3-1 loss over on Matthew Field in Uniondale. An upset that quite shocked everybody in the league. But to those Firebirds, it was nothing new. It was an energetic team, and if the Friars look to take back a win there and stay in that race for the 1 seed, they're going to have to match it. Conley here, weaving through defenders. Calderon lets one rip. And almost trickled through the legs there of Ospina, but in the end, the keeper cleans it up. And after those 2 subsequent home games next week, it'll be away at Fairfield Prep up in Connecticut. Those 2 sides matched up last year in the first game of the season. Ended a 3-3 classic, which is not what you often see on the opening night. We'll see if that result changes anytime soon when they meet up the 14th of October. Lob here on the direct kick for St. John's. And Gregory Torres Navas, number 5, steps in for Cole Lawrence, looking to keep that clean sheet tonight. Calderon tries to find one of his juniors in behind, and he does. A bit of a miscommunication there in that St. John's defense led to an unintentional one-on-one there with Jackson Donahue as the Friars look to step on the gas pedal here in this closing 13 minutes or so. Paul Vito on the overlap. Cuts back on his left. And 2 Cougar defenders able to intercept there. Heck of a header there by Michael Ryder. Gets it all the way back into the defensive third. Cleaned up by D'Amico. To Donahue. Tries to lob it through to Calderon. Can he get to it? An attempt to shield there. But the linesman called it out of bounds, and it'll be another goal kick for Ospina. And now only a short stint for the likes of Kyle D'Amico. And it seems to be Stephen Galindo here. It'll be Chris McDonald out of Melville. And Andres Solano, a quite reliable defensive midfielder, getting some time to mold into this Friars roster. With 11 minutes to go here against St. John the Baptist. And Solano, a UTP student here at St. Anthony's, after completing his first year of eligibility at St. Anthony's, he found his way onto that tryout roster and did a sensational job leaving a first impression on the coaching staff, making his way into a surefire option at that preferred defensive midfield role that he takes now. Solano on the ball. Onto Vito. And a press coming here from the Cougars, successful. as it's won back by number 8, Daniel Peterson, who's back in the game. Vito Martin takes some space to his left and looks to switch, which he does. Sotero, another defender out of West Islip, joining the legs of Nick Ferrara. Solano, Cruyff turn there to McDonald. Calderon tries to find a way through the legs of his defender, but not so. Eventually gets to McDonald, tries to find the head. When it might drop here, clearance instead for the Cougars. On that last break, Peterson, fastest moving man on the earth right now, trying to win this ball back. That's a good look for the Friars. An unfortunate miss hit there for Calderon. He could have picked up his 3rd goal of the season. Game now under 10 minutes. About 9:50 left. For those of you tuning in, Friars 7, Cougars 0. Back comes Alejandro Serna for his partner in crime, Daniel Peterson, who's just been all over the place for this this Cougars team. John Carnese brought down by Donahue. And the scoreline kind of speaks for itself. But if you're Coach Creo and the rest of that coaching staff on the sideline, you have to be happy with this one. 2 losses in your last 3 games. Haven't had 5 losses in a season since that state-winning run back in 2019. You have to get back on track with this one, and you make sure of it with 7 goals past a potential playoff opponent that they might see come November. Donahue and Martin working quite successfully in the press there. Fortunately, it comes off for a Cougar throw-in. And Henniger, seeming to drift into that full-time center back role, clears it only as far as Solano. Martin. McDonald. Now to Vito. He has space down that right-hand side. Back to McDonald. Tries a turn there. That Vito-McDonald partnership not getting old. Solano, heck of a right foot on him. Almost perfectly finds the feet of Calderon there. Either way, it ends up in the feet of Sotero. Tries to cut back. Still on his feet. And after getting a bit too feisty to try to keep that against 3 St. John the Baptist defenders, it'll be a foul and a direct kick for Ospina to get his team out of his half. Cougar set up in a 3-4-3 currently. Sotero, nice interception there off the direct kick. And coming up for St. John the Baptist, not too many non-league opponents up. It'll be St. Dom's Holy Trinity next week, followed by St. Mary's the week after. That Thursday, it'll be Kellenberg away. And they'll close their league campaign out with Chaminade at home, looking to avenge that 6-0 defeat they had the other night last week. Of course, the Friars would take the 3 seed here in that playoff race, as it seemed Patrick Kina just wanted a break from play there. Maybe wanted to get his buddy Andrew Witchick back in. And as I was saying, before this game, St. Anthony's had a game in hand, but stood at the 4 seed at a league record of 2-2. Of course, both of these teams lost to Kellenberg and Chaminade respectively. But this game meant so much in the grand scheme of things, and the Friars made sure to secure it as well as they possibly could. One back by Witchick. To McDonald. He can let one rip. It seemed that Ospina might have fumbled it there, but the assistant referee saw different. It'll be a direct kick. And that being said, this Thursday the 5th, those higher two seeds, Chaminade Flyers and Kellenberg, will meet up at Gold Star Stadium in what could be a vital game in the grand scheme of that CHSA 1-seed race. Of course, being able to pick the time of day you play your game is all important to preparation, and that 1-seed gets first bid. Of course, St. Anthony's 2 league losses already, but if they can pump out results like this, or even something close, they can definitely instill themselves back in that race come November. And Sotero marching up on that left side, on that far sideline. Sweet combination here. McDonald, step over, back to Ryder. Just under 5 minutes left on the clock now. And seeming handball there. Referee agrees. And the left back Sotero will stand over it for this one. Lobbed in, trying to find the head of Conley. He did find his feet. About a handful of deflections in the box there. Only led to it getting as far as the keeper's hands. Serna with his back to his attacking goal. Carnesi and Ospina. Ospina just trying to get it out of his half. Michael Ryder denies that. Braden Conley. Through all to Witchick. Does he have the pace for it? He might. He keeps it in bounds. It's a cutback in the works here. No, it's not. An interception on the far sideline. Liam McCarthy tries to cut in, and Paul Vito tracked him all the way back. Say a 60-yard dash or so to make sure his team didn't let one up. And once he got it back, it's a direct kick here for the Cougars. Three minutes left on the clock. And Michael Ryder, again, one of the tallest people on the St. Anthony's roster. Quite the pleasure to have at that center back position, making it really a no-fly zone in these sorts of situations. Sotero, all sorts of space down that left-hand side. Cuts in past his man, looking for a switch. Martin with a tantalizing run in behind, but just not enough angle on that. Good cut there by Serna. Martin tracking back to defend. Carnesi, nifty cut. Solano to Witchick. Witchick tries to find Conley. And cleanup crew Michael Ryder, making his way out of his typical center back position. And Witchick wins it back for Conley to drive. And solid step there by Carlos Rodriguez. Of course, looks like a player is down on that left wing for St. John the Baptist. And that was Mark Trena who went down there. Good thing he made his way back up. Referee did not stop the clock there, but seemingly sensible with only a minute left to play. And as if 7-0 wasn't comfortable enough, Friars will close this one out. St. John the Baptist, with this loss, moves down to 3-3 in the league campaign. The Friars, to what St. John's used to have with 3-2. Maybe the Friars can get something in here. Conley opts to turn back. Whip in, trying to find the head of Martin. Almost found Witchick, and it does, but just enough balance there by Ospina. There's only a handful of seconds remain in this one, folks. Push in the back there by Kina. And by the end of this one, it might as well be the last kick of the game. Three, two, and one there. And speaking of one, a victory for St. Anthony's. In what was bound to be a hard matchup on face, the Friars took this one by the throat. By halftime, it was 2-0, thanks to the converted captain, Joe Juanu. Opening the second, it was Dean Moratori with an absolute cracker of a strike into an own goal by Carlos Rodriguez of St. John's. Eventually, Christian Kelly, who played most of the game as a left back, got himself a brace. And Jamison Draddy, with one of his first few goals of the campaign, gets one for himself here. And again, in a week's time, it will be St. Anthony's taking on Holy Trinity out onside Onley Field, followed by Kellenberg for their annual senior night. It's quite the night for some seniors here, likes of Juanu Draddy and Moratori. But that being said, the score closes out 7-0. Thank you all for tuning in to this first ever broadcast of St. Anthony's Boys Varsity Soccer. We will see you next time.